Hi guys, video today is going to be about a build for Alley of Blood. We've got this running up until the 31st of January, so from a couple of days ago. The build that we're using is similar to a dive necro build that we use for the standard PvP battlegrounds, but you will see that going into it, it's very simple to use. Let's just jump straight into a match so you can see how it works, and hopefully this match will be not a very long match. We don't want the video to go on for 20 minutes. Some of the battles that I have done today testing this build have definitely been full-time matches, so hopefully this won't be the case. I like to go with siege weapon. It's just one that I've always picked. What's the team setups like? They do have a barb. Could pose issues. We'll see. Doesn't mean to say that he's going to be the best of barbs, but we'll find out. See how this goes. Once we've done the battle, hopefully it won't take too long. We can then go through the gear and the set items, the skills, the gems that I'm using. Because as we all know, when you go into here, you've only got 6 green slots and 6 legendary slots. Okay, let's see how it goes. Hopefully it's a winner. I've won 6 out of 8 battles so far since this has been on, so hopefully this will be a 7th. It's 2 down already. I need to heal up. Need to heal up again. Cheers, bro. It's there with a triple. Oh, he's popped my borrowed time. But I think we should be able to reset that. Yeah, nice and easy. Sextuple. Proc my borrow time again. Shouldn't be a problem getting this back though. Septuple. And there's the octuple. Risky business getting in that close. We're at 9. It's going well so far. Should be quite a quick battle. I don't think there's going to be any chance of them winning, so it's just a matter of how many kills can we go for. We're at devastation now. Don't want to die though. As I said, build is very powerful, very easy to use. And even when you get a good enemy team, it can be mostly well balanced, so. Couldn't really have asked for a better match to kind of show you how good this build is, really. It's it is strong. Still have to be careful here. They can still come and wipe us if they're lucky. It's up to 18 kills. Let's get some health, just in case. I don't want to lose it now. And there you have it, guys. Nice and easy match. Shows you how good the build can actually be. It did seem very one-sided, so, you know, bear that in mind. This build doesn't always work that way. But as you can see, 18-0. MVP, you know, great for Alley of Blood. So let's get out here and just show you what the build actually consists of. So we'll start off with the skills. Skill-wise, pretty standard really when it comes to our skills. We all kind of know that we 9 times out of 10 are going to take Corpse Lance and Grim Scythe in most of our builds currently in the current meta for both PvE and PvP. We're going with Wraith Form and we're going with Borrowed Time. And then I take Bone Spear, but feel free if you prefer Soulfire to take Soulfire. There's no kind of, you know, argument here. They can both be used. Gear set that I'm using Studied Menace to apply the dot when I'm using Corpse Lance. It obviously applies this decay for 3 seconds and then reduces the healing for 3 seconds that they can do as well. So really good for this build, and obviously increases Corpse Lance damage. Chest Gallows Born, where you create corpses while you're moving through Wraith Form, and it decreases the cooldown of Wraith Form. Another good kind of set or get a legendary item to use in this build. Flame of Forever, not one that we use very often, but Borrowed Time now also increases the damage and critical hit chance by 9.5%, whoever this effect is on. So obviously most of the time this will be applied to yourself, so you're going to get that increase, and obviously it reduces the cooldown of Borrowed Time as well, which is very handy. Legs, Raving Silence. We all know what this does. Completely triggers all conditional damage on the target. It removes them all instantly so they can take the continual damage in one shot. It's great for this build, and you'll see why as we talk about the other pieces of gear. Defiling Swarm. We're using this for our Grim Scythe, for the conjured Whirling Scythes. So they're going to orbit around you and do damage and generate plenty of corpses for you to use for your next item, which is Departed Appetite, for the Vortex of Bone. Corpse Lance now consumes the corpses around you and creates a vortex of bones surrounding you that damages enemies. So when it comes to set items, we are using 2-piece Vifu for the duration of all the beneficial effects on you to be longer. We are then using 4-piece Agments. You're going to have additional Ignite status for the duration by 30%. The increase on that is great. You've then got a 15% chance to attach Ignite status to an enemy when using the 4 set, which applies this damage over time. So damage over time here. We've got then damage over time on our Studied Menace, which is, you know, perfect. We're then wiping all of them 2 damage over times away with our Raving Silence, with our Grim Scythes being hit. Legendary Gems. We're using Pain Class for the increased damage dealt to enemies that are suffering from the continual damage by 24%. We're using Viper's Bite for another form of continual damage, so it applies that poison to the target. We're then using Ruling Consequences, which is going to obviously give you an increase in crit chance, but apply a burn to the target, which obviously is wiped out again by Raving Silence. We're then using Spiteful Blood, and I know it looks like it's a rank 1, but when you roll into Alley of Blood, all of these gems are instantly put up to rank 10. So this is good simply because anytime you're taking damage and you're below 50% health, your Spiteful Blood will surge through you for 4 seconds, increasing your damage done by 4% and making you invulnerable to other players' primary attacks. They can't trigger any more than 20 seconds, but it is a great gem to have in PvP. We're using Blood-Soaked Jade for increased damage and increased movement speed. We're then using Bottled Hope for the buffs, so it's going to increase the movement speed and when you grant a buff, and obviously then down here says skill cooldowns are reduced by 3%, which is really, really good, and obviously this increases your damage as well. Now, we don't have to worry about things when it comes to cursed properties and familiars, because they do not apply in the battle there, because Alley of Blood is obviously, you know, goes in and it just balances everyone out. So they don't take into account this, they don't take into account these, and they don't take into account familiars. Haven't got to worry about that. So as long as you're using this setup with these gems, you'll be balanced out and you'll have a good chance of winning, just like I did in that match you watched. Paragon wise, I am using Gladiator just for that extra survivability. We're using First Aid, Combat Veteran, Cheat Death, Grizzled Veteran, and Overpower. Then for the legendary skill, we are using Death's Release, one of the newer ones. So when you kind of wipe away that conditional damage on them using your Raving Silence legs, when that expires each time, or every 10 seconds because of this here, it's going to deal 30% of the damage, total damage, to all nearby enemies. So if they're all grouped together, which a lot of the time these players are in these Alley of Blood matches, it's going to do AoE damage to the party as well. So it's great. You could go with Rod. You could also go with, you know, the absorption shields. But I find personally, I prefer this one. Now you could argue that going Slayer and having like some of this conditional damage stuff up here could be beneficial as well. See how you play. If you prefer it with that or you prefer Gladiator, then the choice is yours on that one. Now, other than that, really and truthfully, I would like to know what other players are using in Alley of Blood to see if there's any kind of similar builds out there to what I'm using or anything that's different. You know, I like to try out different builds when it comes to different modes. So yeah, if you've got something that's different, post it in the comments down below and possibly I can go and try it out and see if that's better than what I'm already using. I don't personally think that I've found one better at the moment. I think this is just a perfect setup for how I play and what I like to play. The dive meta in normal BGs is very aggressive, which is how you have to play this build. You know, yeah, you're going to die a few times. That's unlucky. But Borrowed Time and Spiteful Blood, they do help out a lot. And obviously Cheat Death with Gladiator. So you've got that survivability there. So as long as you're using your Wraith Form, you've got no really worry about dying. As long as you've got obviously Wraith Form up and you're using both your abilities, you're going to do plenty of damage and really put a ton of pressure onto the enemy team. So if you do have any questions about it, like I said about obviously the builds and that, if you've got some other ones for me to try, leave it in the comments. I will answer as many questions as I can, especially over the first 24 hours, you know, of the video going live. And yeah, other than that, we'll see you in the next one.